Here's your wrestling news for October 30th, 2021. And your headlines for today include: Paul Heyman momentarily forgets he's not Brock Lesnar's advocate on Smackdown. Quiet double turn takes place on last night's Smackdown. Why did Vince McMahon return to Saudi Arabia after Crown Jewel? Lars Sullivan caught up in latest scandal on social media. Former X Division champion receives tryout with WWE. WWE struggling to fill arena, AEW has no problem packing out, and more. We are kicking off today with Smackdown as there's still doubt about whose side Paul Heyman is actually on. Sure, Roman Reigns got his hands on the Universal title when Heyman threw the gold in the ring at Crown Jewel, but many still believe that Heyman was trying to give the title to Lesnar, who was indefinitely suspended last week. This week, Adam Pearce added a $1 million fine to the Beast's punishment, but without Brock or Reigns on the show, it was up to Heyman to keep the story going. Caught off guard by Kayla Braxton, Heyman cut a promo where he seemed to be speaking about the Beast's imminent return before he caught himself midway and stopped immediately. Heyman apparently forgetting that he's not Brock's advocate anymore, or so he claims, was an interesting creative choice, and we only wish that Reigns had been around last night so that we could see his reaction. This makes it evident that the Reigns-Lesnar storyline will continue, likely until WrestleMania 38, at which point we may finally know whose side Heyman is on. It'll be interesting to see how things play out once Brock Lesnar returns, but don't expect Reigns' alliance with Heyman to go beyond next year's WrestleMania. SmackDown also saw Charlotte Flair issue an open challenge, but after refusing Sasha Banks answering the call, the Queen faced Shotzi Blackheart instead. As the underdog, fans quickly got behind Blackheart, who established herself as a future title contender with this effort alone, and perhaps would have won had a distraction by Banks not given Flair the opening to hit natural selection. After the match, a furious Shotzi attacked Banks, and although the heel aspect of the boss's character has cooled down in the last few weeks, this seems to have been her official babyface turn, all while Shotzi turned heel. It's not often we see double turns, let alone quiet ones like this, but Shotzi's first night on the new era of SmackDown was a great way to kick off her singles run on Team Blue. Earlier this month, WWE returned to Saudi Arabia for their Crown Jewel event, which many consider the company's best show to date in the Middle East. That's not exactly a high bar, as past Saudi shows have included superstars held hostage at the airport and the Goldberg-Undertaker fiasco, but this is still a huge win for Vince McMahon. The chairman was present for Crown Jewel and flew back without incident after the show, but he didn't stay in the US for long. That's according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, who report that the chairman returned to Saudi Arabia a week after Crown Jewel to discuss business. It must have been serious business, which caused McMahon to make the near 6,500-mile trip from Stanford to Riyadh instead of a Zoom call, but after a year away and the success of Crown Jewel 2021, the chairman is wasting no time planning the next Saudi Arabia event in person. More from SmackDown, as fans had hoped that Jeff Hardy's move to the show would rejuvenate his career, but that hasn't been the case so far. Instead, Jeff has so far been seen retreating from Brock Lesnar, and this week, he was booked in a cringe-inducing backstage skit with Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. A former WWE World Champion and one of the most popular babyfaces ever, Jeff could be doing so much more, even helping younger superstars get over, and it's crazy that there's no decent spot for him on 2 hours of SmackDown. Now, WWE is known for making some strange production changes, such as their list of banned words, including city names not deemed important enough, and now, another bizarre practice has come to light. In the most recent Wrestling Observer newsletter, it said that WWE wants to make their roster seem taller, and to do so, they've been trying to recruit shorter referees. This height practice isn't just with the refs, as they also have a shorter interviewer, with Kayla Braxton standing at just 5 feet tall. This practice wasn't a thing in the past when names like Hulk Hogan and The Ultimate Warrior literally stood tall in the wrestling world, but with the wrestling industry moving away from jacked-up big men to smaller, more athletic wrestlers, having smaller refs is now seen as essential. The fact that WWE is more rigorous in their steroid testing has also been a factor in having smaller wrestlers on its roster, and if you're 6 foot or taller and have always dreamed of donning the black and white stripes of a WWE official, then you may want to try your luck in another promotion. More from Saudi Arabia, as after a series of losses, Bill Goldberg finally got a much-needed win, and an impressive one at that, at Crown Jewel 2021. Getting revenge on Bobby Lashley for the Almighty's actions at SummerSlam, this was one of Goldberg's best matches in years, and that's something the former Universal Champion knows well. Speaking to the CarCast podcast, Goldberg discussed his match with Lashley, and after a series of highly criticized matches in Saudi Arabia, the Hall of Famer hopes his latest performance has shut his haters up. "I don't have the best track record in Saudi Arabia, I've knocked myself out, I've dropped The Undertaker on his head, I needed to redeem myself. I'm not happy with my performance, but I'm satisfied with it to a point where I think it shut all the haters up, finally." Goldberg also confirmed this week that he has just one match left on his current WWE contract, a match that Matt Riddle would love to be in, even if Goldberg has hinted at facing Rey Mysterio and his son. But it's ultimately up to Vince McMahon to decide who Goldberg will face in what could be his last ever match. When Lars Sullivan was released from WWE at the start of 2021, it was after a series of scandals, and that hasn't ended now that he's gone from the company's roster. On Twitter, indie wrestler Charlie Cruel fired off a tweet asking for help, as well as a screenshot from her Instagram notifications, which show Sullivan going on a binge, liking all her photos. Charlie, whose Twitter bio describes her as the cutest, purple-haired, ditzy little firecracker in professional wrestling, certainly caught the attention of the Freak, and didn't reveal anything about direct messages from Sullivan. We have to wonder if Sullivan will like this tweet from Charlie or possibly reflect on his behavior, as liking all of her photos within a matter of seconds definitely hasn't come across well for the former WWE superstar. In 2001, WWE hired Jimmy Wang Yang to a contract, but he was released the following year. Rehired by Vince McMahon in 2003, despite Vince not even knowing he'd previously been fired, Yang was released in 2005, and his third stint in the company lasted from 2006 to 2010. Now, the former WWE superstar is back for his fourth stint in the company, but we won't be seeing him don his cowboy hat and boots in the ring. The Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Yang was rehired recently and worked as a producer during this week's Raw. As a producer, Jimmy will be responsible with everything from planning matches to helping with promos, and with over 20 years of experience in the industry, the WCW Power Plant graduate will make an excellent addition to WWE's backstage team. Jimmy Wang Yang isn't the only interesting name that was backstage this week, as Petey Williams was backstage at last night's Smackdown in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. The innovator of the Canadian Destroyer, Williams was there to try out for a producer role, a role that he's excelled at in recent years at Impact. A former X-Division champion, Williams has spent a ton of his career with Impact Wrestling, and while the 40-year-old wrestler can still go in the ring, he may be soon innovating the business once again, this time as a producer for Friday Night SmackDown. And we're ending today with Monday Night Raw, which will air from the UBS Arena in New York on November 29th, mere days before AEW Dynamite takes place at the same venue on December 8th. The ticket sales for these shows have been wildly different, as while seats sell like hotcakes for Dynamite, WWE are having to take drastic measures to get fans at Raw. It's already been confirmed that Universal Champion Roman Reigns will be on the show, and now it's been reported that fans wanting to go can use the code TREAT for 2-for-1 tickets. Despite their show being closer to happening, Raw still has plenty of floor-level seats available, while AEW have had to open up additional seating for their taping of Dynamite and Rampage, and only a scattering of lower-level seats remain. This war at the gates coincides with the back-and-forth war in the ratings between WWE and AEW programming, and we'll have to see what announcements are made for the Raw in the company's latest efforts to sell tickets. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.